Hi there, welcome to Get Fit Friday. I always get a lot of questions on how do I work my core. Um, and there's a lot of misconceptions about the correct way to work your core. What is the core and how do we isolate the core? Should we isolate the core? So what I'm going to kind of go over with you today is a little bit more about the inner core. This includes about four groups of muscles. One is your diaphragm. So that's that dome-shaped muscle that attaches all the way around your rib cage and kind of helps with breathing. It goes up and down as you breathe. There's also your deep transverse abdominis, so it's below your six-pack, below your oblique muscles, and it kind of wraps around you like a corset all the way to your spine. It's actually the only muscle that attaches to your spine, so that's why it is very important to know how to find this muscle and how to use this muscle correctly. Next would be along your spine, there's these small muscles called multifidi. And what they do is just kind of stabilize 2 to 3 segments at a time. So these are very important for just controlling how we move in space and keeping that spine nice and solid when we go to lift, twist, bend, whatever it is we're trying to do. And last is our pelvic floor. And so the pelvic floor is kind of like the reverse of our diaphragm. Okay, so it kind of acts like a sling to kind of keep everything in place. So basically we want to work all these muscles together so that it's kind of like the gears in a clock, and if they're all going, the clock continues to rotate. If one of the gears is out of sync or not going, then the clock's not going to work. So we need to get all four muscles working as a team. So I'm going to briefly explain, first of all, just how to find these muscles, how to activate them somewhat individually, and then to kind of combine it all into one whole process. So the basic position to start in that's easiest is to just lay on your back. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Okay. So once you're here, what I want you to start with is just taking a deep breath in and trying to breathe all the way down into that lower rib cage, so you're expanding it around almost like you're opening an umbrella. So the whole way around is opening. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do 3 breaths like that, and it should take you at least 3 seconds to inhale, 3-second pause, 3-second exhale, okay? So it's going to look like this. Good. So that's the diaphragm, so that's muscle number 1. When we're using our diaphragm, we want to also be aware of what we're doing with the other 3 muscles, especially the deep abdominal muscle, the transverse abdominis, and the pelvic floor. In supine, which is this position, we're not going to be using our back muscles as much, so don't be too concerned with them right now. So next I'm going to try to activate my transverse abdominis. So the easiest place to feel it is if you find the bony part of your hip in the front there that kind of sticks out, and just put your finger just slightly inside from there where it gets to be more soft tissue right there. That's where you're going to try to find it. So I'm going to take that deep breath in, and on the exhale, I'm going to try to draw my abdominals down towards the table, almost like I'm pulling my stomach away from the front of my pants, okay? So it's going to look like this. Okay, it's pretty subtle. You probably can't even see that I'm doing anything, but what I'm feeling under my fingers is the muscle will kind of pop into my fingertips, so it's actually coming up a little bit when I contract it. So now we're going to add the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor is going to contract with the transverse abdominis, and what it does to contract is a lift. So you'll feel it kind of come up. When you relax it, it lowers, okay? So on the inhale, you should be relaxing. On the exhale, you should be lifting or tightening. So this is the same muscle that they teach you with Kegels. So that's the muscle we're trying to activate. So deep breath in. Then contract both those muscles, lift the pelvic floor, draw the tummy down. Inhale, relax. exhale, pull those muscles in. Once you're able to find all these muscles, you can add a little bit of difficulty to it by moving one leg. Okay, so you want to keep your knees bent for the first few tries until you get better at this, and then eventually you can work on extending the leg a little more. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the right leg. So inhale first, exhale, tighten, draw that leg up to basically a 90-90 position, and then inhale, lowering that leg back down. And I'm going to go ahead and alternate legs. Okay, so what you should notice is that my spine is not changing when I'm moving my legs. Some people will kind of tip their back like this when they lift their leg. We want to make sure our spine does not move while we're doing this exercise. It should have the same amount of pressure it has at rest, okay? So now to progress this, we're going to go to where I lift one leg and then lift the other and hold briefly, then lower both back down. So it's going to look like this. Inhale first. Exhale, draw those muscles in. Inhale again. Exhale, draw those muscles in. Try to keep your legs close as you can to that 90 degree. That makes it more difficult. If you go past, now it's too easy. You're taking the tension away from your abs having to work. So stay right about there. Okay, so on my inhale, I'm going to lower back down. Let's repeat that one more time. Inhale first. Exhale, lift. Good, and this same thing should not be allowing any movement through your spine. It should all just be moving like a hinge through that hip joint, okay? All right, so to progress this to the level 2, what we're gonna do is add a slide with it, okay? So inhale, exhale. Inhale, slide. Exhale, lift back up. Inhale, slide, and exhale, lift back up. Your spine should stay stable during this movement. It should not be adding any arch underneath the lower back. Good. Okay, level 3, you do not touch the table with your slide, so you keep it a few inches above the table. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty slow, controlled movement because we're really trying to focus on not moving our spine and using those deep abdominals that we're trying to activate. So, so that was level 3. So level 4 is going to be moving the legs all the way down together and back up just with a bent knee. Inhale first. Good, so that's level 4, all right? And so now my level 5 exercise is just adding the legs both going out and back in together, still limiting the amount of movement that happens in your spine by keeping those abdominals tight. Inhale. Inhale. Back out. This is very hard, so if you have to change your angle to a little more vertical to be able to do it, that is okay. Don't go too low to where you can't control it anymore. Good. So that's kind of my core series to start with, just to get those muscles working correctly and be able to find them individually first, but then as you kind of get practice, use them as a team with movement, with leg exercises. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. There's obviously progressions to other exercises that we can go over on another series. I just wanted to introduce the inner core today and just give you the basic level 1 through 5, with the starting just being the leg lifting one at a time, to get you on the right track to learning how to use these muscles and find them. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed Get Fit Friday. Thank you.